Hi again. Today we are talking about something that's probably about as ubiquitous as the sun. Yes, it is caffeine. So I had a comment from this subscriber. He asked me to make a video about the fact that I don't have caffeine, and I haven't had caffeine for about 10 years actually, unless you include like the odd bar of chocolate, which does have a tiny bit of caffeine in it, and also maybe like a fizzy drink once in a while that has a very tiny amount of caffeine in it as well. But I always have a decaf coffee on the morning, and that's purely just because I like the taste. However, I do remember what it was like to have caffeine every day in my coffee. And I also remember the highs and the lows that came with it. I mean, the energy levels were just all over the place, and it was something that I didn't really like. And that was the main reason, actually, that I did cut out caffeine in the end. You see, this is the issue. Most people think it's this like glorious elixir that propels you from slumber, but it's actually more like a mischievous trickster than a benevolent friend. So I'm going to take you on a caffeinated journey about why I think that you should reassess your relationship with this little bean of energy. But first of all, let's actually address whether caffeine does give you energy, because I think it's a bit more like that over-enthusiastic friend who kind of turns up at your party unannounced and eats all your snacks. You see, caffeine works by blocking adenosine, a neurotransmitter that promotes sleep. So instead of actually energizing you, it's deceiving your brain into thinking that you're not tired.
Decepticons, mobilize.
So I would first ask yourself, do you want to be tricked into feeling energized, or do you want to feel energized naturally, which we're going to get into in a second? The infamous crash. You know the drill. You're zooming through your day, fueled by those delicious cups of joe, and then bam, it's like someone pulls the rug out from under you. Suddenly you're battling fatigue with all the grace of a newborn giraffe. And this roller coaster of energy can lead to anxiety, it can lead to irritability. Your body is basically crying out for balance, and you're feeding it a frenetic feast. What you need to do is pause, have some stillness, and just relax. Okay, let's talk about sleep, because you might not know this, but caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you have your coffee in the middle of the afternoon, the caffeine is still going to be in your system, dancing around, keeping you up, or at least disrupting your sleep. But what you might also not realize is that caffeine also has a quarter life of about 10 to 12 hours. That means even if you have a coffee on a morning, it's still probably going to be in your system on an evening. So unless you live on Mars where the days are longer, you're probably going to have caffeine in your system and it's going to be affecting your sleep. And you know how big I am on getting good sleep. It's the most important thing in your life if you want to feel good. In fact, I'd be very curious to hear how many people out there drink caffeine and have it not affect their sleep in any sizable way. Like, if there's anybody out there that tracks their sleep and they can prove that they still have sleep scores in the 90s range, even after drinking caffeine at various times of the day, I'd be intrigued to see that. Drop a comment and let us know. To be honest, to me, drinking caffeine, especially after lunchtime, is basically like putting a do not disturb sign on your well-being. So the thing about caffeine is I think most of us have this kind of, we're tethered to this morning ritual that we have. And having a coffee first thing in the morning is just the most natural, normal thing for a lot of people. I mean, what I would say is that if you're one of these people that wakes up in the morning and the first thing you're thinking of is, I need my coffee, then that's the time to really stop and think, hang on a minute, have I got a bit of an addiction here? I think that's definitely the time to kind of like take a step back and address it, because it's a dependency that if you're not careful, it could actually spiral into withdrawal headaches and crankiness. And if that isn't a clear sign of addiction, then I don't know what is. Okay, so like I said at the start, I do have a coffee substitute on a morning, most mornings, which is either a decaf coffee or something called a caro. A caro is basically like a malted drink. It has no caffeine in it at all. But really, I often think it's just about having like a warm, hot drink in our hands first thing in the morning. It doesn't have to be a coffee. So a herbal tea can be just as good for that comforting feeling. And then maybe practice like meditation or the 5 Tibetan rites or some other early morning workout that's going to invigorate you more than a coffee will. And the best part of this is it actually promotes a genuine sustainable energy. So you don't need a chemical crutch to feel vibrant and alive. Remember, true energy comes from within. It's about nourishing our bodies, embracing stillness, and connecting with our essence. So consider this your invitation to break free from the caffeinated chains that are bounding you and pursue a more serene existence where your energy will be more stable and your heart will thank you for it. Hope you got something from this. If you did, hit the like button and drop a comment and let me know what you think. See you next time. Ciao.